Stop it. You may be wondering, this isn't your average content. Usually it's just Mortal Kombat or something. And I would have done that. I would have done a lot more of that. But I'm banned from the PlayStation because I said some less than savory words on there. So I was kicked off of my account, and now I've just been going on this whole idea craze for videos because, I'm like every other 5 to 13-year-old, just really wanting to get high on the YouTube algorithm, being that cool kid in school who has over 1 million subscribers and just everyone wants to be around and all that garbage. Which won't happen, I'll just get bullied for it. But I still enjoy making things. I still like playing a lot of games, as most kids do. So, as a lack of ideas, I was just going to make my first of these kind of discussion videos. So, Alright, I'll just come right out of the gate and say instantaneously. I just had a more than terrible experience. I was playing a certain game on a certain game roster that happens to be black and has a very white square within the middle of it. I played Roblox, and I was doing one of my favourite games. It was Tower Defense Simulator. A lot of you might have heard of it if you ever touched the sacred grounds of Roblox. And it was different. I encountered these two kids, these two, actual lobotomite zombies that just made me think that my generation might potentially be the worst of all of them so far. If it wasn't already proven. Like, the cavemen would have better chance of surviving on their own than the kids that I just met. They're constantly saying skibbity toilet. Oh, no, not that. That's too bad. That's just a stereotype. They're constantly saying things like, POV, me next door to my parents' house because they built me my own little hut because I was annoying them too much. Like, with a dash next to it or something showing that they're quirky. It is baffling to understand that's what the world has come to. That's what a kid is doing nowadays. Just scrolling through TikTok constantly, non-stop all day, or YouTube Shorts, which is probably worse. I don't personally use TikTok, but I know a lot of people do. And the attention span on everyone is so little that they change subjects every 5 seconds. Like, I'll ask, hey, do any of you have this certain tower in the game? It's called Accelerator. And then he'll go, I actually have Golden Pyro. Is that enough? And then I'll say, sure. Then he says, actually, I've got 25 push-up record at my school. I'm actually really good at setting fire to things. I'm actually really good at disappointing my parents too, I'm still learning how to use the phone properly, So I can't actually comprehend what you're saying. I don't even know what comprehend means. It's just disappointing to know that is going to grow up to be a full-grown man. Probably not. He might die of scoliosis or something because his spine would be so just ruined from constantly being hunched over on his phone like this, either scrolling through TikTok or playing Tower Defense Simulator. It's always just going to be the most hurtful thing to think of what the world will come to. That quote, I don't know who said it, but something about strong men make weak men create hard times create strong men create weak men. Because it's easy times, because the strong men made it that way. We just passed, that last generation, that was the strong guys. Alright? Now, Gen Z, honestly, I wouldn't call it a very strong generation. I'm not part of Gen Z, I'm Gen Alpha. which is probably significantly worse in every way, shape, and form. Because, like, they're still developing, they're all still very young, but they're all being poisoned by Andrew Tate, who's just feeding them this, like, sometimes okay stuff because he'll sprinkle in a little bit of, good advice over thousands of videos about the Matrix being broken or something. And they'll take what he says verbatim and they'll add that to their vocabulary because they're still all developing. Their brain isn't very strong and they have no morals yet. They'll just put that right into their vocabulary, and when they go out in public one time, they'll instantaneously not know how to socialize or do anything other than say, I'm top G, which is really annoying over time. And, I don't know, some other garbage. But it's just, they don't understand basic things anymore because they're not being raised right. If you look at a statistic right now, I can tell you that 50% of marriages are at least a second marriage. And that last marriage was the one that had kids. And now you are taking those kids who now have a stepfather, and, well, usually stepfather, it can be stepmother on occasion, but mostly stepfather, and they're being isolated from their actual father, their real father. So they'll think that's just the norm, and everyone has about 50,000 marriages because your wife either cheats on you or you just can't be bothered to have a child right now, so you'll leave. I just have so little faith in everything. Because my friends, every single one of my friends, my best friend especially, they all have something wrong with their parents in some way, shape, or form. They all have something different in their family that has caused them that experience. And they're all only like 13 or 14. Like, majority of them, all their fathers have just left. I've got 7 friends that have had their parents divorce, and I have about 3 where their fathers have just outright left. It's just so terrible. And that is what is making all these people just go straight to the internet. All these young people go straight to the internet because they don't have anything, they don't have a father figure. So the first thing that they see will either be Andrew Tate or some really weak, pathetic being that just spouts this woke garbage. I don't know why I just said that. I feel so embarrassed, but just, you get what I mean. This woke, right, leftist, whatever it is, I don't really understand it all that much, but it's all just like, be gay. And every kid I know has a friend that is gay. Because it's just so common now. They were all raised by the internet, and the internet is constantly shoving it down their throat. Just this huge grease ball, and unhinging their jaw and just cramming it in there. Right? They're all just feeding this terrible lifestyle of don't have kids and, don't work out because it's a waste of time. Like that H3H podcast thing where the really larger than life guy said that life is too short to exercise. I'm just going to say it right now. And, that is okay for some people. I'm perfectly fine with fat people. I'm perfectly fine with gay people. But the fact that there are so many that are just doing it for attention, they're not actually gay, they're not actually lesbian, they're not actually obese, or at least wanting to be obese. They're all just doing it for the sake of being noticed, because attention is what everyone wants now. And back to those little tiny children, they're all also just eating up the hot trash that is being put down in front of them of be gay. And I think that at least, bare minimum, in Australia, 20% of the population of young people are gay. Or at least claiming to be they, zim, zims, he, she, whatever it is. And it's just so hurtful. I I personally have an issue with it. So does my father, which is probably why I've been passed on with this kind of hatred for attention seekers, which I also am a bit hypocritical for that because this is going on YouTube. I am hoping to gain subscribers. By the way, subscribe for me. But if you heard that, that was my rooster. Don't be alarmed, I'm not getting robbed. If you're a young kid, right, this is just the last thing I'll say. If you're a young, really, really young kid, like 8 to 9, you're probably already clicked off this video because it's like 10 minutes long and your brain can't comprehend something that long. Just get off of TikTok, get off of YouTube, start exercising the slightest bit, and if you don't want to exercise, just start reading a book and paying attention in class. Because it is so much better for you to learn all these different things, to understand all these different mechanisms of society, and just be a good person. Don't be an asshole. That's about it. Bye bye.